First and second period and fifth period. Hello, good morning. So as you've seen, we should be finished with To Build a Fire, and we're moving on to our next short story. This short story is called An Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. This particular short story is broken up into 3 parts, and so I'm going to have you read and answer questions for the story part by part. Ambrose Bierce is the writer of this short story. I thought it would be fun because there's a really, really nice twist towards the end of the story that a lot of students in the past have enjoyed. So I thought it would be a great story. It fits the standards that we're working on. You guys have got to be able to understand and to take out the meaning of what the author means in each part of the story and be able to relate it to how the theme of the story and the message fits what the author is trying to do. So we're going to move on with this little lesson on the story. I'm not going to go through all of it today. I'm going to give you bits and pieces in parts so that you can follow logically in order. So the particular setting of this story is in during the Civil War, right towards the end of the Civil War. And where does it take place? It takes place in northern Alabama. And actually right over here is where my family is from, in DeKalb, a little city called Fort Payne, the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. So at the very beginning of part 1 of this story, there's 30 questions for each part that you guys will be able to answer and work on. So it says, morning on a Union-controlled, remember Union is the northern states during the Civil War. Union-controlled railroad bridge called the Owl Creek Bridge, and it crosses a stream and a forest in Alabama, in North Alabama. Part 2 of the story is a flashback. It's going to take place on a plantation about 30 miles away from the bridge. Part 3, the stream underneath the bridge, and it will move on towards the surrounding forest. There are 2 points of view while telling the story. Now, one of the standards that you're going to be working on towards the end has a standard with why do authors choose to use 2 points of view while telling a story. And so there'll be some questions for you to ask about that also. Part 1 is objective third person, or in class I always say third person omniscient. Part 2 is objective third person, and then part 3 is third person omniscient. The last paragraph is objective third person. And you'll be able to understand that a little more closely as we move on through the story. Now, the plot, the exposition, which we've worked on already in class. The story opens with a 35-year-old man standing on a bridge with a noose around his neck, right? Moments away from being hanged. His hands are bound behind his back. The only thing between him and the stream below is a board with a Union sergeant standing on the other end. Here is a picture from the film. There is a film version of this story. The man observed, and maybe I'll show you that film. I'll try and find it and download it and see if I can get it uploaded. The man observes the men around him at length, noting how fixed and silent they are. He also tries to focus on his wife and children, but is interrupted by what sounds like a hammer striking an anvil, only to realize that that is his watch that he is hearing very loudly. Here's another scene of the silent soldiers while he's further up here on the bridge. Thoughts of escape rush through his head, but at the same instant, the sergeant steps aside from the board that's keeping him from falling into the river, and the man falls into the river. So that is part one of the occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. I'm going to post in a couple of days part two, a little lecture, and then a few days after that, part three. I want you to make sure that you guys are answering all of your questions. I have already posted in the classroom the assignment right here. And let me go back. So guys, whoever's watching this right now, there's only 6 students that I have that are connected to this class. So I need you guys to make sure that you are logging in. I've already talked to a bunch of you on the phone. We've mailed packets home too. You'll also be receiving this work next week at home. Also, I've sent emails to almost all of you since we've already done work in the computer lab. So what I posted was the actual short story text. I've also posted the multiple choice questions for you to be able to do. And then I've also posted part two for those of you that want to work ahead. That's not due for quite a while, but make sure that you're staying up with what you need to be doing. As you can see, guys, there's a lot of work already done or should have been done. So we have a bunch of assignments. So make sure you guys are going in, you're doing your work. If you have any questions, please email me. And have a great day, and I'll be back with you soon.